Hi, this is a video about ancient India. I'm not as familiar with ancient India as I am with the other civilizations that we're learning about. So there's a bit more content on the slides to make sure that I'm accurate because I'm learning about this with you guys. So again, we're going to go through the 6 elements. Let's talk about the large population centers. This is a similar civilization in relation to ancient China for time period. You can see here it's 5000 BCE. So it's an old civilization. It's also complicated to talk about ancient India because ancient India came off the Indus River, which you can just see here in the map, and in the detailed map you can just see it in there, and you can see all the different cities of the Indus civilization. Now this is actually, a lot of it is in modern day Pakistan. And so we have to be conscious that what is in modern day in relation to ancient India is actually Pakistan, Bangladesh and India of modern day. But we could talk about it as ancient India because it was a range of civilizations that sort of came through, and it all stems from the Indus River, and that's where it all started. Again, remember, we've got to come off water, so we always come off rivers. All right, monumental architecture, they did have a range of unique styles, particularly also not just in architecture, but also in the kind of pottery and the smaller items that they made. And a lot of it was actually religious based. So you can see that there is a range of, here I've got a religious location, and I've also got these vases that were here. Now, Hinduism relates back about 3,000 years, more than 3,000 years, and it's not sure exactly how it started, but it did start in the Indus region. So it is in the area of ancient India, and it is a religion of current India as well. And it plays a big role in the architecture of the civilization. Now, in relation to writing style, this writing style no longer exists, and there was 2 types of things. So there was a Harappan or Indus script, and that's what you can see here on this bronze plate. So you saw, hieroglyphics have been carved into stone. Romans wrote on papyrus paper from Egypt. Egyptians also wrote on papyrus paper, which was the first forms of paper in that area. And then the scripts that was used by the Hindus was called Sanskrit, which was slightly different. And again, Ashoka, which was one of the uniting leaders of ancient India, he carved his writing into stone as well. So we do have this evidence of this language that was used by ancient Indian people. Okay, so a system for measuring, for administering territories. The image I've got here is again just some of this amazing sort of religious architecture they did, because I didn't really have any images for their administration or how they divided people into their division of labour. But basically they had various forms of administration under different rulers, but one of them was actually provinces, districts and villages, and they had their own level of governance. And that's a lot like we do in Australia today, because we've got federal, state and local government. So it's kind of interesting to see that ancient civilizations kind of lead us to where we are today. And you can see here that they had philosophers, farmers, soldiers and things like that. Now, in relation to how their system of social structure worked, it's actually quite unique. So they had something called the caste system, and this was based on the Hindu religion, and they actually divided people based on their profession, as you can see here on this slide. But the caste system is a really, really formal, rigorous structure. And the untouchables at the very bottom are called untouchables because you're not allowed to touch them. There's kind of this belief system that they are beneath. And this was a very, very strong cultural mechanism that the people who are below you are people who you really shouldn't associate with. And it's quite a strict structure of social engineering, really. And you can see here that it was formalised around 1000 BCE, but it was formally abolished in 1948. So that's really, really recent. and it was in for a really, really long time. If you're really interested in this, there's actually a range of research showing that the caste system still influences India today, and that there's a range of ways that people treat each other in India is still based on the caste system, and this belief that some parts of society are better than other parts of society. But it was a very tight way of managing your population, and it was very, very much a part of their culture and their belief system.